The motor is out, guys. We got the KA right here, and the trans disconnected. Check this out. So that motor had a crazy leak. The craziest leak in the front main seal. So like all the front lower part of the engine bay was caked in oil. So I'm using rags right now to try to clean that out. But our next step is to connect the JZ to the transmission. Boom, here it is in the car. Couple hours of work, probably 2 to 3 hours to get the original KA out. Just cause the motor had never been pulled out before, so there was literally everything factory you could think of in the way. And then we got the OS Geiken clutch bolted up after we got it off the engine stand. And the transmission on. This is how the motor's gonna sit in the car. I'm honestly super pumped. We got it pretty level. And just bolting stuff on from here. Getting a drive shaft, intercooler piping, the whole fuel system needs to be done. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work, but I'm honestly super hyped. This is a good checkpoint for now. Had to drop the sway bar because stock sway bar is not clear. And yeah.
2,000 years later.
What's up, guys? I'm back in the shop. Haven't posted in a while, and I just need to give an update and kind of walk you guys through what's been done and what I still need to do. So I'm gonna flip the camera over here. I'm honestly in that stage where like I'm regretting doing this, looking and seeing no progress. Just so much work and time and money into this, and just like nothing in return yet, but I'm trying to see it through. So as you can see, we got the intake manifold off, and that is because I had to weld to it because I am running drive-by-wire. This is gonna be throttle body, fully electric. So the JZ throttle bodies are kind of weird and hard to make work, so going electric is very beneficial. The wiring harness for the most part is ran. Needs to be messed with a little bit, and a lot of stuff to be dealt with in here still. ECU is ready to be mounted once we start the car. So for an update, we have the wire harness ran, mostly done, which is super cool because that is a huge step. It is a Wiring Specialties complete custom harness. Everything for the car pretty much custom. And then fuel system, we got Injector Dynamics 1050s, which will be plenty for the horsepower that I see the car making. Stock fuel rail still. And then we got an 8AN feed and a 6AN return. I still have to make this line down to the regulator. But the lines are mostly done. Give you guys a little tour down here. So that's my ethanol sensor, battery terminal ran, and then fuel filter. Now for in the trunk. Back here. So much of a mess, but y'all gotta see it through it still. I gotta mount this relay. I'll be running a relay for my fuel pump. And back here, I just gotta make that fitting for the AN line. That is the feed, and the return is already done. So once that is done, I just have to wire up the fuel pump, and that will mostly be done. My positive runs down through the floor there. So yeah, my fuel system is pretty much done. Besides those 2 lines I gotta finish. Intake manifold is off, and y'all will see why soon. So I'm probably gonna show you guys finishing my fuel lines. I gotta do that one and the one in the trunk like I showed. And then my battery terminal is routed. I just have to put the eyelet on it for the alternator, and then it's gonna run up here to the fuse box. But that is mostly what is on my agenda until I get my intake manifold back, and then I can do the power steering and put on the throttle body. There it is, fuel line done. I should have made it a little bit longer, I think, because I don't like how the fitting is twisted to the side, but I did make it a little too short. I was kind of struggling with it, and it just became too short. I had to do it twice. Anyways, I did have this routed under the manifold. It runs behind the block like this and under the manifold, and I cut it to size and put the eyelet on it. But since it is going to be running so close to the manifold, I don't want it to possibly melt or, you know, anything to happen to the coating. So I ordered this stuff off Amazon, and I'm going to heat shrink it to this, and it should just protect it a little bit better and honestly hide the red, because I don't want the red to be shown when the engine bay isn't red anymore. So I'll show you guys that when I'm done. There it is. I ran it all the way down to right there. Now it just looks like a part of the harness, to be honest. There it is, routed up to the fuse box. Next, power steering pump. Right here. Power steering pump on with the pulley and the belt. One last thing I gotta do before I finish that up is this little bracket. And this bracket pretty much deletes the AC. So if you look down here, it just goes right there to pretty much support the power steering from moving at all while the belt is spinning and the motor's on. So I got this on, pretty pumped with that. Next thing I have to do is back here. I have to finish relocating the battery. So I have my positive ran. Now I have to do my negative, which came kind of pre-done with the kit I bought. But I have to show you guys how I'm gonna run it and then do that too. I forgot to mention, I'm actually gonna be using 2 grounds. So that's the original ground from the fuse box. I'm gonna use that too. So down under the car, I'm gonna run one to this bolt, so I gotta trim it like that. And this other ground, I'm gonna run to this bolt right here. Here it is, this battery terminal, if it was connected. There it is. Battery system is actually fully relocated now. We should go down here. So, one ground running to this bolt. Another ground running to that bolt. There it is. This is gonna be the end of the video. thank you guys for watching. Next video, my plan is to start it. So if you could hit the subscribe, that would mean a lot, and hit the notification so you can see the startup. But anyways, thank you for watching. Peace.